welcome Atishay Jain, who would be giving a speech on Vanity and Vengeance, dramatic talk.
Today, I'm going to share with you a very popular folklore from India, which has over 16,000 stanzas in a ballad. This folklore is not really historically very accurate. The historians do not believe in love stories. And according to them, this is the story of just a king who angered his neighbors and suffered a humiliating defeat from an enemy he had let go. But the folklore differs, and it is really something to indulge in. The story begins in a green grass field in one of the most fertile lands on the planet. The spring breeze dances through the grass, absorbing any bit of dew that was there, making temperatures perfect. But it stenches of blood, fresh blood of notorious barbarians that had come all the way to ransack Delhi. There stood the king from Delhi with a sword, and on the other side was the head of the leader, the clan leader of those barbarians. And he was scared. He was crying, trembling, begging for forgiveness. The king looked around. Destruction was immense. He shed a tear. And then he extracted from him a promise. Swear that you will never venture east ever again. Swear that you will never be seen in these lands, and I will let you go. The barbarian promised. And he went back. And also went back the king, back to Delhi, marching as his chariots moved. The horses galloped in a fine rhythm. The word about his bravery, his kindness, as well as of his intelligence, was sprung into rhythms of interesting songs that were known far and wide. They also fell upon the neighboring kingdom with a much larger army and a very proud king. The story continues into a room with a velvety carpet, ornate plants, and beautiful paintings that gave the essence of royalty. The room was decked with the finest of jewels on the planet, as well as some of the rarest of men. Kings, princes from all over India decked that room. Fair-bodied, muscular men with shiny armor. All were there, all except one, the prince from the neighboring kingdom. The person who had refused to bend the bow to the king. He was there virtually. His statue was there outside the gate, just to be shamed. Today was a special day. The princess, the most beautiful of them all, were to choose her husband. She stood there outside the gate, trembling. Women are but pawns in the Game of Thrones. Her heart was upon the statue, but nobody really cared. Trembling, she moved forward until from the open window blew a gust of wind. With this wind came in magic. Suddenly she had the courage to take the garland and anoint the statue, her husband. Just like magic, from behind the statues came in the Prince of Delhi, swooped in the princess, jumped off the window onto a horse, and he galloped far away, even before the royal army could get their hands on the hilts of their swords. The story continues and goes back to the same battlefield where it all began. This time, the roles were reversed. The king had tipped the barbarian lord, and he had come back for the prince. The king who had spared his life was now on the other end of the sword. And the tables had turned. The barbarians, they don't believe in honor or in valor. They only believe in victory. The Delhi king got both his eyes pierced, was left blinded to die. Delhi fell, and the rest of India followed. Kingdom after kingdom was destroyed until nothing was left, including the traitor who lost his own kingdom. Vengeance and vanity destroyed the country. Those were the goriest days in the nation. The rule of honorable men was over. But this story did not end that day. After winning over the country, the victor came back home, collecting all his loot, taking them back to his capital, as he enjoyed in wealth and women in a show of battle skills of the spoils of war. One day, he was amusing himself with the skills of a blind slave. Just by the voice of the oath breaker, the erstwhile king of Delhi figured out where he was. With one straight arrow, he shot him to the middle of his head. No one survived. No important person survived that day. Delhi was ruled by slaves for 100 years. Only the tale survived. Generations after generations sang the strong stories, the songs in the honor of just one man, Prithviraj Chauhan. Thank you.